What's going on, y'all? My name is David. This is RVFamily.life, and it is time to repack the bearings on the RV. I hope that I can provide you with some useful insight and help you to do it right. Let's take a look at what you're going to need to complete this wheel bearing job. I definitely recommend a few of these rolls of the blue shop towels. I did notice when watching my old video that I recommended just regular paper towels. It's funny because I completely forgot I said that. So now 2 years later, it's like, maybe those would be better. You're going to need some high temp performance grease. I went with the STP can. And you don't need this, but man alive, it makes a big difference. I remember taking me several hours to repack all 8 bearings. I got this, I was gonna buy one, and then my friend Rick, as I like to call Squeaky Butter's dad, or Squeaky Dad, it's a little inside joke there. He gave this to me because he decided he wasn't going to need it anymore, but that is a packer. So basically I scooped the red grease from the can and put it down in there, and then now as I push down on this, it applies the grease into the bearings, and then the red cap is just there to primarily keep as much debris out of there and keep it as clean as possible. As you can see, there was some grass in there. A flathead screwdriver is great. I like to use a DeWalt impact wrench. I've got a 3/4 inch. I needed a 3/4 inch socket for our RV, so I've got that on there. It's an expensive tool. You don't necessarily need the expensive tool. You could get the job done with just a breaker bar, but man alive. Doing this time around, I would say that this tool saves me about an hour overall from having to do all the lug nuts myself manually. Definitely the mallet comes in very handy. Here's a seal puller. You're gonna need that to pull the old seals out. Some kind of brake clean. This stuff is interesting. It's been doing a good job for me. I got a little bit complacent yesterday and I was using this as like a pressure washer to clean the grease out. And I had good black gloves on, but this was getting through the material and my knuckles started to have this weird burn feeling. So be careful with that. Don't just go liberally with it because you've got gloves on. I had to take those off and rinse my fingers for about 10 minutes in order to get my fingers to calm down. You're gonna want the torque wrench for when you put it all back together because you wanna make sure that you're torquing your lug nuts down properly to the right number. You're going to wanna have a jack as well as a stand. This is basically just an insurance policy as a backup in case this were to fail. And then I used that kind of busted board there underneath of my jack stand, or my jack. And then this piece of wood was another piece that I used to actually tap in my new seals to make sure they were nice and even across. I noticed some issues between my old ones and my new ones. It's better to have something nice and even across that you can tap it in with. And then having some grease with a Zerks fitting on there is good. You're gonna probably wanna touch up your existing Zerks down there. Like for instance, I've got wet bolts on my suspension. So I went ahead, since I've got stuff off, go ahead and just add a pump of grease into those. And then if you've got some cardboard, this box had just come in from Amazon and I'm like, that's perfect. So I brought this box down there with me, and as I would remove the dirty stuff, I would just place it in the box. And then I'm sitting Indian style down there. I'll take them out one at a time and clean them up all nice and neat and put them down on some clean paper towels or shop towels. But this was just a kind of a catch-all as stuff came off there. And you can see there's a original dirty seal right there. Haven't thrown that one away yet. It's been 2 years and 4 months since I have repacked my bearings. So I've got other videos that I've shown how I've done this, but I just wanted to kind of, hey, part of the, RV life is you got to keep doing this. So I am the last one responsible for packing these bearings. Just thought I'd show you how you can see what really probably was too long. You can see the reddish grease, right? But that essentially was an area that really wasn't doing anything. And then we've got this dark grease right here. So you've got 2 bearings, one in the back and one in the front. And where it was really working the hardest, it did get pretty dirty. Also, look for the 4 dots on your magnet for your brakes. And check to make sure you have at least 1/16 of an inch left on your brake pads there. Anyway, I'll keep updating you as I go along with this project here. This is the first wheel of many. Oh, and there's the hanger that broke. I have not gotten the other ones done or worked on, but we've got some extra cobwebs there. That helps to hold it all together, right? Well, 1 down, 3 to go. Just kind of examining this tire. Tire is 3 years old in March, so 3 years and 5 months about. Just kind of looking it over. I think it's a little interesting how it kind of seems like it wears a little bit right there. But it does still have a little bit of that over there. But it looks like just a little bit more on this side. I'm hoping that these tires can make it to year number 4. Thinking next March would be nice, you know, go ahead and get new tires on here. They've been good tires. I've appreciated them. My grandfather raised me to always get Michelin. Not always possible in everything I do, so do what I can. So when they said these Michelin XPS ribs were available, I'm like, yeah, we'll go ahead and take those. Been a good tire. So I got one side done. I'll finish up tomorrow with the rest of it. In the meantime, we're gonna play a game called The Bible is Funny. Apparently somebody here wants to be Darth Vader in training. And I'm just chilling in a little hiking chair at the end of the table. Y'all, that was pretty fun. No, it wasn't too bad actually. Now that I've got the tools, the impact wrench, as well as the thing that puts the grease into the bearings. I would say overall it saved me probably 4 hours, maybe 3 hours worth of work. Made it a lot easier. I'm still a old man and can feel it in my back, but it went by a lot smoother. I did do this 2 days, over the course of 2 days. Did these 2 wheels the second day, did the other side yesterday, just to kind of get back in the shape and the memory of doing everything. And then on top of that, being able to add grease to the wet bolts. I didn't have that option last time, so that's something new that you should try to remember to do when you do this job. All right, thank y'all so much for joining us. Like I said, I hope you found this information useful. Try to repack your bearings. I don't know, some people do it every year. I was aiming for every other year. I came in a little bit late and I was making me nervous. Honestly, I was driving down the road and I started to kind of freak out thinking, man, I hope my bearings aren't locking up and overheating. So I'm glad I got it done and put behind me and get another 2 years behind me. If you're somebody that's on the go more frequently, maybe every year would be a good time frame. So just don't let it go too long, because I've seen somebody completely burn them up and have wheels just wind up coming right off the RV. Yes, that actually does happen. All right, remember, life happens, even maintenance tasks. Don't let that stop you. Stay fresh, cheese bags. Maybe I should have cleaned up that brake dust a little bit better before letting Daisy go back and lay under the slide here. Oopsie, I'm sorry, Daisy.